Hello everybody, welcome back to My Green Pets. We're going to be starting out today in the sunroom looking at the Phalaenopsis orchids, which have been in bloom since February and are now beginning to show signs of growth. That little green slit there is a new leaf pushing out. All of them are doing this, just various stages of new growth, and that's brought on by the temperatures rising in the sunroom due to the summer heat and also probably longer daylight hours as well. In addition to new leaves, the plants are also pushing out new roots, as you can see here. This beautiful pink slipper orchid, Annabelchen, is going into its second week of bloom, and it just has such a nice pleasing form. I really like it. I've got it in the kitchen to kind of decorate the table. This is a miniature Phalaenopsis. It's been in bloom for a few weeks now, and it's just really nice, and I've nicknamed it Sunset because of its colors. Every June I can look forward to this bromeliad, the Aechmea fasciata, sending up at least one bract. And the great thing about these is that once they do bloom out fully, they keep their color a good 5, even maybe 6 months. Alright, well that's all the plants we've got inside to have a look at, so let's go out to the shade house and see what developments are happening out here. You might notice that I've gotten some new hanging shelves that I've put together with the help of my dad, and those have been very, very helpful to get everything in there in the light. This is a Little Mermaid. This is a Cattleya type orchid, and it's sending up a new shoot, and that will be blooming in October. And next to it I've got a bunch of seedlings. These are Cattleya rex seedlings, and I've had these for a couple of years. They're starting to get some size on them. Can't wait till those bloom out. Of course, you'll remember from this fall, Mormodia jumbo world, growing all summer, blooming in the winter, gorgeous pendant blossoms. And this is Vanda falcata, the Japanese wind orchid. It's only got a couple little blooms, but it's the first time it has bloomed, so it's going to be exciting when it does. Moving over to Maxillariella tenuifolia, the coconut orchid. It is just performing so well this year. It's been in bloom for at least 4 weeks. And those flowers are just continuously giving off a sweet coconut fragrance. Moving on, a couple of other orchids I don't mention too much. This is Stenhopea oculata. It will be hopefully blooming this summer sometime, along with Paphiopedilum medusae, who blooms in November, December, is currently putting out its new growth for the year. Next to that we have another Paphiopedilum. This is the Rufinum species, and you can see its new growth just starting to open up its first new leaf there, and hopefully it'll bloom in the fall as well. And of course, lovely Elizabeth. I received this as a 2-growth division, and it's put on 2 since I've gotten it, and it looks like it's putting out 1 more. That also will be blooming hopefully in the fall. And the last Paphiopedilum that I have here is the Echinolabium, which we've been looking at the past few months, really kind of hoping for a bloom spike, but no luck so far with that. In the shadier part of the tent, this part of the tent gets about 85% shade, while the opposite part gets 50%. So we have some more Cattleya rex seedlings here, and I just love, even though they're tiny, they do thrive when mounted, as long as they receive water every day. A little bit deeper into the shady part, I've got my Phalaenopsis here. As the blooms fall off in the sunroom, they get moved out here so they can start growing. And they just really seem to grow well when the temperatures are high and the humidity is high and they get lots of water and moisture. They really seem to grow well. See this one putting out new roots. This that actually was the one that was given to me by a friend to rescue, so it looks like it's going to make it. Hopefully it'll bloom this fall. We'll see what it gets to look like. We'll see what it looks like. This is Myciela monticola. It has not bloomed for me. This was the project plant for the orchid board last year, and it is growing, it's living, it's doing okay, And it's supposed to be a fall bloomer, so we're going to be looking for that to be producing bloom spikes along with the Phalaenopsis. Alright, now let's go over to my favorite place in the whole shade tent, the Paphiopedilum table. And what a surprise when I looked at this Paph Prime Child the other day and saw this. A different colored leaf coming up. In fact, it's not a leaf at all. It looks like it's going to be a bud. It looks like this plant is going to bloom this summer. Totally unexpected. I did not think that this growth was mature enough to send up a bud, but orchids, they do what they want. Our little mascot, the little froggy, someone suggested the name Lucky, and I absolutely love that name. So from here on out, this is Lucky the Frog. This is where he resides, in a bromeliad. He seems to be doing all right, protecting our other green pets, from bugs. And let's go over to the Vanda tree for the last part of today's episode to have a look at these beautiful Vandas, which are growing in a little bit more light. One of these on the left is unnamed, but the one on the right is the Quo Vadis fragrance. And you can see the root tips are well into growth mode. Then a little further back, we've got this one. This is an unregistered hybrid, although the parents are named, so maybe when this blooms, it will be registered and will have its own name. And then finally, the monster Vanda. This is Pachara Delight, grown from a Lowe's bag baby into this monstrous plant by another grower, and then given to me a couple years ago when she could no longer manage it because of its size. That's all for today, everyone. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I'll be sure to see you next time right here on My Green Pets.